Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me today. If you're new here, my name is Kelsey. I like to do makeup and just kind of like talk and chit chat. I don't really have an outline for today's video. It's been kind of difficult to like muster up the energy to even like sit in front of a camera. I did my whole skincare routine today. I washed my hair and I decided I'm gonna film a video. Like I said, it's been really difficult. I was literally sitting here for about 20 minutes just waiting for who knows what, for that spark of creativity, you know? So maybe I'll just talk about myself today. We can like get to know Kelsey a little bit. So if you're interested in getting to know me, keep on watching. All right, cheers. So starting off, let's get to know Kelsey. I was born in Boise, Idaho. I am the only girl in my family. I have 3 brothers, no sisters. I'm using the e.l.f. Poreless Putty for primer. If I'm not naming products, please forgive me. I just kind of wanted to like let people know why I am the way I am. I was born in 1990. My earliest memories as being a kid with makeup have to do with my neighbor across the street. I think I've touched on her before. She was Korean, adopted into a white family, single mom, and she had all this amazing makeup. Like I was 11, 12 years old maybe, and she was a couple years older than me, and she had like Chanel, she had Lancome, she had all of these amazing brands that I didn't know at that time. My mom knew them. When I remember Leah came over and we did my mom's makeup one time, and my mom was so surprised by the makeup that she had because it was really nice makeup, and Leah was like maybe, I think she was a couple years older than me, so she was maybe like 14 or 15 at the time. So a lot of my makeup influence and just the way I learned how to do makeup came from her because we would practice on each other. I'm gonna try this. Honestly, I've tried this before. I didn't really like it. That's why I didn't talk about it on my channel. But this is the Ordinary Serum Foundation. And I got a couple colors so like I can mix and match and kind of like play with the tones in my skin. I was not impressed with it the first time I used it, but maybe it was because I didn't have a good primer. I love this e.l.f. Poreless Putty primer. Like I was not a believer in primer until I tried this primer, and I went to work with a full face, came home, and my makeup hadn't moved an inch. There was no creasing, there was no splotchiness, there was no like, you know, transfer, and I was like, okay. But I had used it with my Conceal and Hydrate from Revolution. So I know it works with that foundation, but we'll see how the primer works with the Ordinary foundation. Anyways, back to Kelsey, who I am as a person. I started gymnastics when I was 6 years old after seeing the Magnificent Seven in Atlanta, you know, Carrie Strug and Dominique Dawes, Dominique Moceanu, all of them. I became like, that inspired me to become a gymnast, and gymnastics was my life. After I started when I was 6 years old, it was my life up until I was about 14 years old. Once I got into junior high, that was when I started to realize I had to make a choice. And the choice was continue with gymnastics and not have any sort of social life outside of gymnastics. Like in 7th grade, I was at the gym 20 to 25 hours a week. And as a 14-year-old, I basically had a part-time job. I was going to school and had a part-time job pretty much. And it gets to the point when you're a competitive gymnast, it gets to the point where you need to either choose if I'm going to give up my social life, homeschool, go to the gym as much as I can, or, you know, you do something else. And for me, I decided to do something else. And part of me wishes I would have stayed with it because I was, you know, I was up there. I was like really up there as far as like competitive levels go. And I had all my friends were there, and it was probably one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make. It felt like a breakup, like my very first breakup. You know, I'm using this Ordinary Serum foundation. I don't know if this is the right color for me. I bought it as kind of a contour color, and then this one is like obviously super light, but the reason I got two ends of the spectrum was so that I could mix them together if I needed to. When I quit gymnastics, it was also a really weird time because I was changing schools. I went from a public school education to a private school education, and that experience in general was just very eye-opening. You know, after going to school with these same kids for, you know, since kindergarten, I all of a sudden was kind of, it was my choice. I'm not going to say like my parents made me. It was definitely my choice to go to this school, but I was lucky enough that my grandparents were the ones that were affording it, you know? So I was very blessed in that sense to have the access to the private school education that a lot of people don't have. And I tried not to take it for granted because I knew that it was a luxury basically for me to be able to go to that school. So when I went to private school, I was no longer in gymnastics, so I had to find another outlet for myself. Luckily, my freshman year was the first year that school was going to have a dance team. The first time in like, I don't know how many years, like 40 or 50 years, something crazy like that. So I auditioned and I made the dance team, and that became my new identity. I wasn't Kelsey the gymnast anymore, I was Kelsey the dancer. Well, dance team is no joke. If you've seen any of those like dance shows, Dance Moms, Abby Lee, all that kind of stuff, like gymnastics wasn't so gossipy because it was an individual sport and your success depended on how hard you worked. It wasn't dependent upon other people. So going from an individual sport to a somewhat of a team sport like dance team / drill team, that was really difficult for me. Because I'm not going to say I'm not a team player, because I definitely am a team player. I just, especially teenage girls, they tend to get very egocentric, I guess that's the word you could say. They're very much focused on themselves. They get very competitive, and it wasn't a good environment for me. And I don't think it was a good environment for any of the other girls. It was very, very catty, you know? Especially because like the coaches would get involved in the cattiness, and it's like, come on guys, like you're older than us, why are you even putting yourself in this position, you know? Like it got very overwhelming. So after dance team ended, when I was about 14 or 15, I decided to play softball. Weird, right? Okay, this foundation doesn't look too bad. I think it's probably the primer. God, that primer is really awesome, to be honest. Like, I was not a fan of this foundation at all when I first got it. Anyways, hi guys, I am very much aware of that orange line on my neck. Please ignore that for the duration of the video. Okay, thanks, bye. Back to softball, which seems totally random. It's like, okay, Kelsey, you were a gymnast and then you were a dancer and then you just became a softball player, like out of nowhere. Yeah. Well, basically, because I have 3 brothers, no sisters, I was very outnumbered growing up, and I like nobody would ever come to my gymnastics meets. The guys didn't care about like the leotards I wore or my hair or the glitter, you know, they didn't care about that. However, I was always, I'm not gonna say I cared about their baseball games, but I was always like kind of forced to go to the baseball games. You know, you learn to like it because my brother went to the Little League World Series. There was this whole like, you know, they were really good. My level of gymnastics, that was like their level of baseball. They were very, very talented. And so I enjoyed going and playing with them. Honestly, we would always like out in the front yard, we would play catch, we would play wiffle ball, we would play, you know, our dad would hit us ground balls. So softball wasn't so much a reach for me. It kind of just came naturally. And then that was a new identity, Kelsey the softball player. And that was fun. I really enjoyed like high school softball. I did go to college. I walked on in college as a softball player, made the team, and then ended up getting injured multiple times. I dislocated my shoulder. I got hit in the head. It wasn't my game. Like, it was fun when it was fun, you know, but once it became like competitive, I was like, no, I'm out. So after college, you know, it was my first year of college. Yeah, straight out high school. I was 18 years old. I had gotten hurt, so I ended up moving home and working. And when I was 19, I decided I wanted to move out of the country. So I found a family that was in search of an au pair, which is like a nanny, like a live-in nanny. And I moved to Germany at 19 years old, which is just like insane to think about, you know? Like, I was brave. I was really brave. And I was there for 3 months. I was supposed to be there for longer, but I ended up coming home early because it was a lot to handle. Like, especially when you don't speak the language. I didn't know any German when I had moved there. I ended up learning, you know, bits and pieces and kind of learning how to dissect sentences and words and stuff like that. And yeah, it was a great experience. I ended up taking a dance class there and made friends. They took me to the disco, my first club I've ever went to. That was so cool. Being 19 and able to go to a club. It was fun. And they were so nice. Like, I still am in communication with a lot of those people through Instagram or Facebook or something, you know, and it was such a good experience. I wish I would have stayed for longer, but I was just like so emotionally drained with everything that was happening at the house. Like, it was a lot to handle, especially at a young age, taking care of, you know, like a newborn child and family dramas. But I love the people I met there. I'm so glad I did it. It was one of the best experiences of my life, to be honest. So after I moved home, I decided to go back to school. I went to a junior college in my hometown in Boise, and I really just wanted to take classes that I knew I would like. So I took as many art classes as I could, you know, while still being eligible. So I had to take like psychology and English and stuff like that. But that was where I learned my love for design and graphic design, because I'm an artist at heart. Like, I love painting, I love drawing, I love anything with color, I love anything abstract, I love literally all different types of art, performance art, music, like literally anything to do with art. So I had tried to sign up for the art classes, but they were all booked up. So the only classes left were graphic design classes. So that was where I took my first ever graphic design course, and we didn't do anything on the computer. It was an all hands-on class, like old school hand drawing, old school, you know, learning how to organize and make cool designs by hand and not by the computer. And what I really appreciated with all of the graphic design classes I took over the years were the teachers would always emphasize that the computer can't come up with ideas. The computer helps you create ideas, but it doesn't come up with, like, it doesn't have a brain, so it can't come up with an organic thought like a human can. And that, I think, really like put me above a lot of the other people out there that were in the industry, because I really understood fine art and how ideas organically come that way, but then also, you know, with branding and brand identity and stuff like that. So I'm like, my skin looks really good in the mirror right now. I'm not sure if it's so good on camera, but like, it's like poreless. God, that it really is poreless putty primer. Like, that shit is no joke, dude. I've been seeing this all over the internet, all over beauty YouTube videos, and I was always kind of like, really? Really. I'm gonna get back to my story. So after taking some graphic design courses in Boise, I decided that this was the route that I wanted to go, like, in life. Like, I loved that industry of design and how everything can kind of fit together. Like, I can take all the things that I love to do and kind of combine them and create my own path, you know? So I decided to move to Vegas and go to art school. And I've been here ever since. That was when I was 21. I moved to Vegas. I went to school. I didn't end up graduating, and I'll tell you why. Wow, this is not something I expected to get into. I didn't end up graduate because it was really expensive. I went to the Art Institute and it was just like really expensive. So I immediately had to get a job while I was going to school, which is fine. I had been doing that basically since I was 12 years old. So that wasn't the issue. The issue for me was I wasn't making enough to go to school and support myself. And it kind of got to the point again where I had to choose. Do I want to continue going to school and get further and further into debt? Or should I just go and make money now? And that was eventually what I chose. I was like, well, it's really tough to find a job and pay back those loans and stuff like that. And who knows if I'll even get a job in my field. And I had a good job at the time. Like my first job when I moved to Vegas was working at a coffee shop, and that's because that's what I did in Idaho. In Boise, I worked at a coffee shop, and I felt like that was where, you know, my skill set was. That's what I like to do. I love making coffee, like it's so much fun. But then the coffee shop I worked for here didn't have the same views as I did as a worker, so I ended up leaving that job purely because the personalities weren't a good fit for me. And then I got a job working on the Strip as a showgirl. And I think a lot of people are really interested in this story, so I might just do a whole video based on my experience as a showgirl. But it was literally the best time of my life. Like, I had so much fun, I gained so much confidence, I met so many other amazing girls who I'm still friends with today. I feel like when I meet up with those girls, it's like time hasn't even gone by. Last time I saw a group of them, it was like I just saw them yesterday. Like, honestly, it was the best experience of my whole life, and I can't give Cheryl enough thanks. Cheryl, Mama, thank you so much for that experience, because that is literally one of the best experiences of my whole life. So comment down below if you'd like to see or hear a whole video just based on my showgirl experience, because it's really, really unique to where I live, and it was just so much fun. So yeah, I'm not gonna go completely into that, but it was just one of the best experiences I've ever had. I don't think I could say that enough, to be honest. Like, it was one of the best. I think mainly what made it so great was we were all young girls just trying to make it, you know? We were just trying to make money and just trying to live the life that we wanted, and we would work together to do that, and we would build each other up, and we would really like praise each other. And I think, of course, there's drama. Of course there was drama. Like, there's always drama. But it was just, for the time that I did it, it was awesome. And I'm gonna leave it at that. So after I finished showgirling, I mean, you're never really done. You say you're gonna find something else, and you say like, oh, I'm gonna get a real job and this and that, and it's like, you're never really done though, because at any point, well, not now because of COVID, but at any point in time, you can literally just go down on the Strip and work again. Like, it never really ends. So if I could work, I would work on the Strip, I would, but it's not feasible right now. So I decided after I was done showgirling, I was like, you know, I don't have very much real world experience. I don't have very many, like, you know, office jobs, administration jobs. My goal long term was to have my own brand. So I decided, if I take these next few years and dedicate myself to learning how to run a business from the ground up, one day when I want to start my own business, I then have all the skills and all the knowledge to be able to do that and run smoothly, rather than just kind of jumping in and not really knowing how to do it. So I got a job working for a baseball bat company. I told my mom there's this trend in my life that goes between art and sports, and I have this pendulum that swings between like artistic design and, you know, paint and color and creativity, and then it's like sports where it's rules, you know, athleticism, all these kind of things. And I think that comes from being a gymnast, because gymnastics to me was the perfect mix between artistry and athleticism. They went hand in hand. I liked the artistry more, but I also enjoyed, you know, the tumbling and the flipping and the flying and all that kind of stuff. So I think that is kind of like how my personality came to be so dualistic, I guess. Not just because I'm a Gemini moon, but there's always been this duality, you know, that happens. And I love Raw Beauty Christy, shout her out, because she just came out with this palette. Christy, congratulations, you're awesome, and you are somebody I aspire to be like, to be honest. So I started working there, and it was literally me and the owner. We were the only two employees. I learned how to pick, pack, ship, do returns. I learned how to do the books, pay taxes, send W-2s and 1099s. I learned how to do all of that, like the business licenses, unemployment. Like, I learned how to, I literally, customer service, I was everything. Like, I did everything. The only thing I did not do was sell the product, because I I am not a salesman. That's not my gig, babe. So my boss would do all the sales. Like customers called in and had questions about the bats and stuff, he would always take those calls, but for everything else, that was me. And I loved it. It was fun. I feel like I ended up becoming friends with my boss. He was very, very, very stern, and that intimidated me at first, but I am always somebody that wants to like do my best and show up every day and give my best and work my hardest. And I think he saw that in me, and he really he taught me a lot about how running your own business works and the things you need to do and the things that you need to say, and how when there's a catastrophic failure, how to deal with angry customers, how to deal with returns, stuff like that. And I'm very, very, very thankful for that experience because it taught me a lot about how hard it is. People think like, oh, I'm gonna make my own brand and it's gonna be perfect and it's gonna be amazing and I'm gonna make so much money and I'm gonna be insta famous and this and that. And it's like, okay, well, all that shit can be bought. The popularity, the ads, like that shit is literally bought. But if you don't know how to deal with people when they're expected to get a product and they don't, then things can be really bad for you, especially in today's day and age with the instant. Somebody can just literally tweet about you and you're fucked. So that was a really good learning experience for me working for that company. After I decided, I am over sports again, I want to do something artistic, I started working for one of those, I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to give them free advertising, but it was one of those paint and drink places where you could drink and paint and they walk you through the painting step by step. And I started working there and it was great. It was good for a while until I realized there was things that weren't okay, and I've noticed a lot of employers don't like it when I voice my opinion on how things are being run. So I worked there did I work there for a year? Yeah, about a year and a couple months, and I ended up being discharged because my personality just didn't fit anymore, which is kind of a running theme in my life, but we're not going to go there. So after working there, one of my friends who I worked with there introduced me to one of his friends who was an event planner. And that was such a great job. Honestly, I loved it. I met so many amazing, talented people. When you get a lot of really creative and resourceful people together in one office, things are magical. You create things you didn't even think were possible, especially for events we did corporate events mainly, and it was just the coolest, funnest, laid back. Honestly, it was the best paid I've been since being an adult. I got benefits, health benefits. I got a proper lunch break. I got overtime. I was reimbursed for any mileage that I would put on my own vehicle. And honestly, it was one of the best money-wise times of my life, making some of the best money that I've ever made. And it was so fun. I could travel, and literally I went to New York for 24 hours one time, and it was so much fun. I'm just throwing parties. What better job is there than to just throw parties? It was so fun. But what happened with that one was sometimes managerial skills are not always the best, and to me that's that's such a bummer because funds were definitely being mishandled. There was a time when we weren't sure our paychecks were gonna clear, and it got really bad, and there was huge layoffs, and I don't know what happened. I wonder if they're still in business because it was such a fun, awesome job, and the people I worked with were so fun and amazing and smart that it should have happened. It should have kept happening. If things had been managed properly, I'm sure they still would be in business, but that's life, dude. You gotta fucking learn. Sometimes it's really, really hard to figure something out until you literally tumble down the hill and, hit rock bottom. But I digress. After that job, I worked actually, this was my last real office job. I worked for a pet company, and I was the graphic designer there, and If you know me, you know why I'm laughing. This job it was a learning experience for me in the sense that I learned I can do anything. Any assignment you give me, I'll figure it out and I'll make it work. That is one of my strengths. You tell me what to do and I'll do it. And if I can't figure out a way to do it, I'll figure it out. I'll Google it, I'll research, I'll figure out a way to get it done. That is something that I'm very proud of in myself. And also, I am an opinionated artist and I'm very sensitive about my work. So with this job, my issue was the owner didn't do anything to my knowledge to help his own business. Everything else was put on the employees. And if the employees couldn't figure it out, then he would belittle you for it. He wouldn't figure out a way for himself to do it. He would belittle you and try and make you feel dumb and make you feel bad and guilt you into trying harder. And I don't agree with that. I just don't agree with patronizing, and I don't agree with narcissism and having an ego. If this is your business and you want it to succeed, you will get your hands dirty and you'll figure out a way to do it. So my issue was I was too sarcastic and that was my downfall. I just couldn't figure out a way to communicate with this person without, talking shit, because he didn't respond to anything else. So the good things about that job were, though, I created an app, I created multiple websites, I worked with big brands and learned large brand decks and how to, work with a big brand and their design standards, which was really cool. And I'm very proud of the work that I did when I was there. Like, I did some amazing designs and I also met some really amazing people. The people I worked with were so fun, so smart, so funny. But as soon as my boss walked in, everybody just kind of shut up because he was not fun. And it's really sad because a lot of the people I worked with still work there, and I know that they're not happy. They don't enjoy it, but it's a paycheck and it's a job. And some people are willing to, put all that aside just for a paycheck. And I'm not somebody who can do that. If I'm working for you, I feel like your morale and, business ethics need to align with mine. And if they don't, then I'm not the right fit for the job. So that was when I started my YouTube channel. After I left that job, I was very really down on myself. I was really, here I am, 29 years old, not able to hold a real job. And I'm like, maybe I'm just meant to be an entrepreneur. Maybe I'm just meant to run my own business, because if something can't be done right, you got to do it yourself. If you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. So I feel like that is a lot of the reason why I am the way I am. I am currently working. I do have a job. It's not full-time. It's a part-time job. It's at a place similar to, like I said, the wine and paint place that I used to work at. It's very similar to that, but we do crafts and we do woodworking and we use drills and stain and sandpaper and crafting with stencils and stuff like that. And honestly, I love it because it's very work at your own pace. I always tell customers, I'm like, you're the artist, so you get to make all of the decisions. It's not my choice to tell you how your project should be. You get to make all the choices. I'll walk you through it, saying theoretically this could work, theoretically that might not work. But it's just so fun, and people are so happy when they leave. They're like, yeah, I made that. That's something that I did. And they're really, even kids, they get so proud of themselves. And it's very fulfilling for me. And I think that's what I need in life, is just a fulfilling career and something that makes me feel like I'm contributing positively to society. And it's just one of the best. It's such a good feeling when you're helping people and you're teaching people. And I think a lot of people don't have that in a job or a career. It's just a job to them. They're just working to get a paycheck. Whereas for me, I'm how can I help people? And yeah, so that nose is snatched, baby. I'm going to use this palette today. I haven't shown anybody. Oops, it's really dirty. This is the EYN Fiery palette from Beauty Bay. I got this palette because I wanted to do an eye look inspired by my dog, and he is a red heeler. So I got, of course, like all reds and everything. And it's a really fun palette if you're just experimenting. The formula, I'm not gonna say is amazing, but it's good if you want more bang for your buck. I think I got that, I think on Beauty Bay, I think this was $30, and it has 42 colors, 42 shades in the entire palette. So if you're looking for something that has, like, you're gonna get more bang for your buck, you're gonna be able to kind of play with and, you know, get more looks out of it, I highly recommend going on Beauty Bay and ordering one of their 42 pan palettes, because I've gotten so many practice looks out of it, and it's like, it's just amazing, and everything really goes together. I recommend swatching things before you put them on, because sometimes in the pan it can look a little bit different than it does like on the lid. But I'm gonna go in with Lucky You first. That's this lightest color, and I'm just going to go all over the lid with that. And it has this amazing mirror on it, guys. Like, it has like a big ass mirror. It doesn't feel cheap. It's magnetic, you know, and it's kind of big, so if you're traveling, it might be difficult to travel with. But if you're looking for something, like I said, with a lot of different choices and shades and just to like play with, like, I highly recommend it, because I wasn't trying to spend like $40 on 6 pans, you know what I mean? So the thing about this though is, like, I get overwhelmed. Next I'm gonna go in with Sincere. I feel like that's a really nice color right there, that little like brownie nudie color. And I'm gonna start by going up from my waterline, my lower waterline, and then coming over, and we're gonna come all the way over into that inner corner right there. So yeah, that is pretty much a story of me and all the jobs that I've worked. It's funny that I like equate my personality with the jobs that I've worked, but I feel like I've worked so many. There's some that I've even left out, because I've worked conventions. When I lived in Boise, I also, you know, I worked at a commissary picking orders, picking commissary for all of the state prisons. I was not in jail, but I had a friend who was a criminal justice major, and that was her job. She was the manager of that, so she got me a job there, and that was fun, unique. And yeah, I started like modeling when I was 19. After I'd come home from Germany, I joined an agency in Boise, and I had worked my first couple of like promo gigs, which were also like so much fun. I love promo gigs. Like, that's one of my favorite things about living in Vegas, is we have the Las Vegas Convention Center, and people come here from all over the world to go to these conventions, and I get to be a part of that, and I get to be a part of these new products launching. And granted, I'm just there for the week or however many days the convention is, but it's literally so much fun learning about all these new products, meeting these people from these companies, and, you know, just kind of like, I know I said I'm not a salesman, but that's one environment that I'm good at sales, is if you just throw me into it, I can like catch my footing really fast. Like, throw me in, tell me some key selling points about this product. I will form my own opinion about the product, and I will then sell the things that are appealing to me. And I think that is maybe one of my strongest suits as a salesman. But I just went in with Cinnamon Bun. That's this one right here, and darkened those outer corners and brought it in as well. So like I said, this palette is really awesome for like nudie neutral looks, but then there's oranges and reds, and there's like some black and dark, like kind of charcoaly colors. So it's a lot of fun to play with, and you can really build up those colors because there's so many different shades. There are colors to me that look one way and then you swatch it and it looks a different way, like this color right here, New Penny. When you swatch it, it's very copper, like very copper. In the pan it looks more like brown, but on the skin it's like very coppery. So I would just like be aware of that, you know, like swatch it first before you put it on your lid, because it might look a lot different than you thought. She's cute. I don't know what to do. I'm very like, I'm caught up in telling my story, and now I'm sweating. I'll do a little bit of red. We'll do Embers, and I'm gonna do that just on the center of the lid and a little bit towards the outer corner. That is so pretty. So yeah, I'm glad I did this video, because there's been a lot of parts of me that have just been, you know, very hesitant to film because I'm afraid of saying something that is stupid, and especially like in today's climate where everything can be misconstrued and things are very sensitive, and we're going through like a big change as a country and as people, and I gotta remind myself that like nothing is as bad as it seems. In the moment it might seem like, oh my god, my world is crumbling. Like we've all felt that way, not just about social media, but about like losing a job or losing a boyfriend or a breakup, or you know, things like that. And I think it's very important to just kind of step back and imagine things 10 years from now, you know? Is this really gonna matter? And is this as scary as I think it is, you know? Because a lot of things like are scary until you understand them. And I think that is a big thing that people should be focusing on right now, is rather than being afraid, learn. And if something is scary to you, try to understand it and try to see that other side, because things aren't as scary as you think they are. Once you understand it, it takes away that fear. So I encourage you all, there's something that's been kind of scary to you, if you've been, you know, nervous to do something because you're afraid of the backlash or you're afraid of what people might think, I encourage you to understand and ask yourself why. Like continue asking yourself, why do I feel this way? Why is this the way it is? What more can I learn about this to take away the stigma? You know, things like that. Like I just think it's very important, and I'm loving this eye look right now. I think I kind of want to deepen up that red just a tiny bit, so I'm going to go into a color called Ruby Slippers, and this is what it looks like. It's very, very red, and I'm just going to tap where the brown and the red meet each other, and we're just gonna deepen that outer corner a touch. It's so funny how you start an eye look one way and then it completely changes from what you thought it was gonna look like. Like I thought I was gonna do just neutrals today, but then I saw that color, Embers, and then I saw that and I was like, ooh, I haven't tried that yet. So I would just be cognizant that the red shadows may stain the eyelids. There's this one Carpe Diem, check that out, dude. Like that is red. I really don't know where I would ever use this. Like like I don't know when I would ever use that. Maybe for a Halloween look or something, if I don't know, if I'm doing something crazy for Halloween, but I don't think I'm gonna be doing anything like that this year for Halloween. Are we even gonna have Halloween? Is Halloween canceled? Did Corona cancel Halloween? I just don't know anymore, guys. Like nobody knows anything, and it's all a fugazi. Dude, that is insane in the membrane. Okay, so I already did my bronzer. I did a little bit of highlight. We're gonna go in with blush. My mom got me this blush for my birthday. How cute is that? It's an ombre. This is It Cosmetics Ombre Radiance Blush, and it is so pretty. I love that deep mauve, but then it also has like a nice kind of golden highlight on top, so you can like mix. I like to mix them, of course. You could do one side or the other side, but I like to do that, and then just kind of touch, and it gives me that nice gorgeous glow with that deep mauve tone. I love a deep mauve blush. Like that is very much, when I asked my mom, I was like, how did you get these for me? Like what inspired you? And she goes, well, I just got things that I would like. And I thought that was so funny, because I'm like, dude, yes, honestly, like I love it, and I would have done the same thing. Like you can only draw from what you know. So just the fact that she was like, well, I got colors that I thought that I would like, so I figured you would like it too. And that is so my mom. I love it. She also got me this Clinique mascara, so I'm gonna go in. It's called High Impact Mascara, and I'm just gonna do the top lashes because we didn't do like a heavy bottom today. I don't normally do a heavy bottom at all anyways. Just it makes my eyes look smaller. And if you haven't noticed, I'm not much of an eyelash wearer. I very much like my own natural lashes. I don't curl them. I don't use a lash primer. I don't do any of that. I just use like a regular mascara. Sometimes I'll use a waterproof mascara, but I just think keeping your natural lashes healthy is very important, so I try not to mess with them too much. But this is a good mascara for sure. Cute! Oh my gosh. Okay, she's looking cute now. Something else my mom also got me was this Burt's Bees matte stick. It's like a chapstick but a lipstick, you know, it's Burt's Bees, so it's like a lipstick, but it's really hydrating. It makes your lips feel nice and moist. It doesn't dry out, but then there's a lot of color payout. So I'm going to show you that, but first I'm going to line with my favorite lip liner, the Essence Soft Contouring Lip Liner in Big Proposal. I don't use very many lip liner other than this one. This is literally my favorite. And I overline a touch. I don't overline a lot. I just go straight up to my lip line and slightly over. That I overlined it a little bit more than I normally do on that one, but that's okay. So yeah, what was the shade of this Burt's Bees? 425 Buttery Blush is the name, and it's like similar, like a nice mauve-y color. And look at how crusty my lips are, oh my gosh. But look at that, like it has such a good color payout and it feels nice and smooth. And there's the finished look. How is she? Is she cute? I actually really like that lip. It looks really nice. I love the eye. Love the red tones, bronzy, coppery, brown, and then the mauve cheek. And of course, the Burt's Bees lip I think is really cute too. So that was a long video. Like my camera stopped recording twice in that. So I'm sorry if you guys were super bored, but I hope you enjoyed getting to know me a little bit. It felt good to like just kind of rant and talk about things from my perspective. I mean, that's all we can do is talk about something from our perspective, but I think it's very important that we also see things from other people's perspective as well. So if you're feeling like a little nervous or scared, try and look at things from just any other perspective but your own, and it might give you a little bit of calm feeling and be like, well, you know, this person went through this person went through that. Is what I'm going through similar or is it different? And how can we like just understand each other from different points of view? I don't know what I'm saying, but I hope everybody enjoyed it. I'm gonna bronze myself a little bit more with this Pixie Petra. It's a blush, but it's also kind of like a bronzy color. I'm just gonna do this because I feel like it. Ooh, maybe that's too much. Ah, what did I do? Fuck. Oh well. God, it's always good until you go too far. You know, there's always that point where it's like, just stop. Just stop what you're doing. Don't do any more, please. Whatever. I don't have very many places to wear makeup to nowadays anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know if you want to hear a whole showgirl episode of Get to Know Me, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day, wonderful week, wonderful life. I love you. Catch you later. Peace out. Hi guys. Me. Okay. Summer breeze makes me feel fine. Hello.
Look at me, America.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. You want to get your face in it?
No.
Cheers. Take the dogs, please.
Come on. Get your bowl. Get your bowl. Bring it away. Come on. Let's go.
Go on. Zerk. I'm even like, from when I went like that. Oh my gosh. So anyways, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Oh god, I just messed that up. I'm so fucking sweaty. Anyways, what was I talking about? I saw a video that was talking about Khloe Kardashian's hair, and they called her hair blonde. I'm like, is that even a hair color? Like, I feel like that's my color. Like, whatever color she did is like, this is my natural color because I don't dye my hair. But they called it blonde. Like brown blonde. I'm like, it's dark blonde or it's light brown. What the fuck is blonde? Anyways, I'm out. Love you.